Hi, good morning. We've been hearing a lot about the coronavirus in terms of how to wash our hands, how to protect ourselves, how to prevent the spread. But what we haven't really focused on is how do we manage those interactions in our workplaces? What do we say and how do we say things that will help mitigate the fear and enhance relationships at the same time? I've created a series of videos to help leaders set a positive example of demonstrating care and concern in the workplace, mitigating the fear, and enhancing relationships in the process. And one of the ways that we'll be doing this in these videos is to concentrate on one leadership skill at a time. And particularly, we're talking about communication skills. And the first skill that you'll hear today is the skill of acknowledging. And acknowledging is really a skill that bridges the gap between hearing something and letting people know that you truly understand. Acknowledgement is the sincerest form of showing that you care and how you demonstrate that care by the words that you use and the power in which you say them. And acknowledgement comes as soon as you hear someone say something. You're listening for both what the situation is and what's the emotion that they're expressing. So this is where leaders have to really tune in to what they're hearing and be able to interpret that and ask themselves, what's the emotion that I'm hearing? What is it that they are either fearful about or they're concerned about? So really helping to identify that emotion. So acknowledgement sounds something like this. I can see that you're concerned about what's happening in the workplace. I can see you're concerned about your projects if you're going to be working from home. I can hear that you're upset about losing the opportunity to go to these conferences. So by looking at and listening to the persons and the emotions that you're hearing, but expressing that back and not a parroting form, but truly demonstrating and helping to clarify what is it that you've heard and what is it that you hear in terms of the emotion. And so those are two key parts of an acknowledgement. It's expressing the emotion that you've heard and the situation that's caused that emotion. One of the most interesting things about using an acknowledgement is that what happens most of the time when we hear something, as leaders, we have a human tendency to want to jump in and solve or react to what we've heard, when that is one of the things that we need to refrain from. In fact, what happens is that when we hear something and we know the answer, or we have a response, that's the last thing that people want to hear from us at that particular moment. What they want to hear is that we get it and that we care. And so what we need to do as leaders is to refrain from jumping to a solution and instead jump right into demonstrating our care and concern. And I think it's important for us to remember the old adage, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So in the meantime, leaders, stay positive, set that powerful example so that that spirit of camaraderie, spirit of care, compassion, and concern can cascade throughout your organization. Set that leadership example and be that positive force that people so need at this time. Thank you and see you soon.